to see her compete, even though she's been last in her races, she's got to compete. And in a different time, in a different place, she would have never got the chance to do that.
I was actually pretty excited because I have my running legs, and this is my very first time in Carthage with my running legs. I'm just so happy I made it this far.
When 9-year-old Haven Shepard says that, you cannot imagine how far she's come. Born the product of an affair in a small Vietnamese village, her birth parents made a choice that very nearly made her 19th month on Earth her last.
They didn't believe that there would be any chance with society and the communists with divorce that they would ever get to be together. So they decided to commit a family suicide.
They're married to other people and they're in love. And then they strapped bombs onto themselves and kind of held me like this. And they killed themselves and blew off my legs.
And the bomb was here. It blew her out. It did kill both of them. In order to save her life, they had to amputate her legs from below the knee.
Hearing the story from a high school friend who had started a group called Touch a Life, helping handicapped children in Vietnam, Shelley Shepard and her husband, already with 6 biological children of their own, made the day-and-a-half trip deep into the jungles of central Vietnam, where Haven's grandparents resolved they could not care for her.
She just captured our hearts right off the bat. She was my child from about 24 hours after we met her. I knew that she was mine.
The Shepards brought her home to Carthage on a medical visa, where she quickly assimilated.
I'll never forget when we got her back to the States, we were in Walmart, and she began to sing the Barney song back to me in English. And that was like within 2 weeks, she had already begun to pick up words.
My mom said if I ever run into a stranger, I give them the Twilight sign. If a stranger comes up to you, yell stranger danger or hit them with your legs.
But 2 years ago, Haven's prosthetic legs, in so many ways saviors, failed her the first opportunity she got to replicate her older sister's athletic success.
Of course, she can't feel her feet. She doesn't know where her toes are. She caught a toe and she fell really hard. That was the first time that I saw her as being handicapped devastated. We went up into the stands and she just buried her face into her dad's chest. And you know, we all cried. A few weeks after that, she's like, you know those ugly running legs? Maybe I want some of those.
When I fell, I wanted to be a lot faster, and all my sisters inspired me to run. And ever since I was little, I always say to Mom, I want to be one of my sisters one day.
The Shepards would soon find out running legs cost upwards of $50,000.
Because this screw is hitting the bottom too much, and that gives too much pain.
That's when they were introduced to the Challenged Athletes Foundation, a San Diego-based group that would provide a grant to cover the cost in full.
This one is actually much more springier.
Before she could show off her new hardware for real, though, there was another duty for the 3rd grader to fulfill. Guest speaking on athletes with challenges at a neighboring elementary school.
A little boy, he raised his hand and he said, so what do your legs look like without your prosthetics? Right then, she just lifted up her stumps and she went as fast as she could like this. And they all laughed, and then she laughed, and you could just tell they were bonded then.
They're like, are you sad? Do you feel bad? And I usually say no, because if they didn't do that, I wouldn't have a chance right now.
This is this child doing what she was created to do, making other people feel comfortable about people that are different. She's adopted, she's of a different race, and she, you know, is physically disabled, kind of.
Kind of, because of course she's physically disabled. Except, watch her return to the track with her peers, and she's so very much one of them.
It just makes me feel happy that all my friends are there to support me, and my family, my nieces and nephews there to encourage me, and that just makes me really happy.
Everyone just opens themselves up to her, and before you know it, she's in your world and she's your friend.
I felt like I finished something that paid off. I feel like I finished something.
From certain death to perfect health and perfect contentment, you cannot imagine how triumphant that must feel. In Carthage, Nick King, Action 12 Sports.